All right, so we will all be watching. The president's going to hold a news conference just a short time from now. It's going to get started at 5:30 from Doral, Florida this evening. In the meantime, he has done some phone interviews with several outlets, most recently talking to CBS News' White House reporter, I should say. And in that interview with Wei Zhejiang, he said, I think the war is very complete, pretty much. They have no Navy, no communications. They've got no Air Force. He added that the U.S. is, quote, very far ahead of the initial 4 to 5 week estimated time frame. And then with that, we bring in Danon, permanent representative of Israel to the United Nations. Ambassador Danon, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me, Mara.
Do you agree with the president's assessment that things are ahead of schedule?
Absolutely ahead of schedule. We achieved so much, mainly the health superiority. It allows us now to continue and to hammer the regime, the IRGC, and also the launchers. So there is still more to do there. There are many targets on the list. But today, once we control the air of Iran, we can do a lot. And I think that we don't see much resistance. But still, you know, for 47 years, they built a lot of terror machines in Iran. So we have more targets and more things to do there.
So the other thing that the president talked about is this, you know, actually I want to go back to that thought for a second. If you had to put a percentage on how much has been destroyed, would it be at 80%, 75% of the total 100% that has to happen to be complete, as the president says we're close to?
So President Trump is right. When you look at the Navy, it's demolished. You know, the Air Force demolished. But when you look at the infrastructure itself, you know, where they produce the drones, the ballistic missiles, the nuclear sites, so there are still sites that must be addressed. But today it will be much easier for us to get there. It's safer for our pilots and for the U.S. pilots to fly over Iran. So I think the president is right that it was easier than we thought.
So with regard to what we learned in June was about 900 pounds of highly enriched uranium. And there was a lot of lack of clarity, I would say, over whether or not it was buried at Isfahan, that 900 pounds, or whether it had been moved. At one point, there were videos of trucks that were leaving the area, and the thought was that potentially they moved it. I think they suggested that they had moved it and had protected that 900 pounds. What's your understanding of where that is and how dangerous that is?
So without going into details, but we have the knowledge about what's happening in Iran. We proved it by eliminating Khamenei and many leaders the first minute we attacked Iran. So we know what's happening there. But I would say that, you know, we should look at the enriched uranium, not the high-level one that everybody speaks about, those 900 pounds. You have thousands of pounds of enriched uranium, lower levels, but very fast they can actually upgrade it. So we have to pay attention to that also. So I think we have to make sure that once we finish this operation, they don't have the capability to move forward with the nuclear campaign, with the ballistic missiles. The proxies are not there. I think we are going in the right direction, but it's not over yet.
So obviously, it's a religious fanatic war for them. If the leadership survives, and if they have the ability to crack down on people, we know Larijani is still around, and he was in charge of the slaughter of tens of thousands of people in Iran. Here's what the president said about the new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, who is the son of the one who was killed at the end of February. He said, he was asked, do you have a message for him? He said, no, I have no message for him whatsoever. And we know that in the past he's said that he's not going to recognize this leader. What do you say to that?
It's more of the same. This guy is a radical like his father was. He believed in the revolution. And you know, there is no conflict between the U.S. in Iran or Israel in Iran. We have no borders. We don't fight over resources. It's pure hate. They want to come against us. They indoctrinate against us. That's why we have to go and stop them from acquiring the nuclear bomb.
All right. Danon, thank you very much, Ambassador to the UN for Israel.
Thank you very much.
Good to see you, sir.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.